We heard the news from Whiterun that you left the city on the back of a dragon. That's a little showy, even for you. Since you're still alive, I assume you have good news to report. Gods above, that's better news than I had hoped. When you walked into my inn that day, I never imagined where it would all lead. Dragons out of legend, Sovngarde. Have you decided to do the right thing, Dragonborn? I knew we could count on you. Glad to have you back on our side. If they had their way, you do nothing but sit up on their mountain with them and talk to the sky or whatever it is they do. The Greybeards are so afraid of power that they won't use it. Think about it. Have they tried to stop the Civil War or done anything about Alduin? No. And they're afraid of you, of your power. Trust me, there is no need to be afraid. Think of Tiber Septim. Do you think he'd have founded the Empire if he'd listened to the Greybeards? The Thalmor hunted us down, remember? It wasn't exactly great for recruitment. But we have a headquarters of a sort now. We will rebuild the Blades, someday. If you find anyone you think would make a good recruit, I can certainly take a look at them. Remember though, being a Blade is a lifelong commitment. Their loyalty has to be with us once they're in.
I hope Sovngarde was as great as they made it out to be. It's actually a funny story. I was supposed to be a guard in Jarl Elisif's birthday soiree, but just an hour before the party started, some of the dancers got sick. So they pushed me to the dancing floor because apparently, as a former Bard's College student, I knew everything about art and dances. I danced like a drunken troll. Well, as I began to move my arms and twist my legs, the whole court erupted in laughter. Whether it was out of amusement or sheer humiliation, I couldn't tell. But while everyone focused their attention on the ugliest moves ever danced, an assassin, quick as the wind, emerged from the kitchen. Dressed like a cook, no less. I know, right? He didn't live to tell the reason, but my guess is he didn't want to murder the whole court. Everyone panicked as the assassin dashed to the steward, while the guards were just slowly putting together what's happening. With mere seconds to react, I drew the sword from a guard nearby and hurled it towards the assassin's throat. Hit right at the target. Blood splashed all over my dress. Ew. Thanks, though I would have preferred to keep that dancing dress. They were going to gift it to me after the party. Just as he thought the steward wouldn't expect to be killed by the cook, I'd reckon. Yeah, the maiden who saw blood as she pierced a cook's throat with a sword. Not exactly the way you imagined I acquired my nickname, was it? Well, you know me. I was trained in the Bard's College, after all. You know, in Skyrim, only blood and fighting are always true. Well, they gave me a raise and a new sword. Though I would have preferred if they had given me another one of those dancing dresses. It's really the prettiest thing I've ever put on. Of course. Sure, my Thane. Although I spent most of my adulthood in solitude, I actually hail from the town of Dragonbridge, where my parents owned the inn. My father wanted me to find a good husband in the city, so he sent me to the Bard's College. Said it'd get me into the upper society. Well, I guess it did, just not the way he expected. For a time. But music and lore are not really my forte. Besides, I hated reading. I found myself having a knack for finding troubles and resolving them, and it got the attention of Captain Aldous. So I dropped out of the Bard's College and began my training under the captain. Best decision in my life. Ha! Better that they didn't. All their life, my parents' hope was to see their daughter marry a noble and bring them out of their mundane lives. It didn't feel right to let them know the truth. Indeed. I regret keeping secrets from my family, but I'll never regret making up my mind. Lead on. I've yet to meet a Dunmer who can beat a Nord in a drinking game.
I am in no mood to talk, outsider. One of the Skaal has gone missing. It is Baldur Ironshaper. As our only smith, Baldur is very important to the village.
Storn's fate revealed the one true truth.
I
Never
do not
trust the
remember
books.
Baldur acting strangely. Although now that you ask, I did see something in the woods on the day he disappeared. I saw two elves in the far distance dragging something behind them. Hunters often visit our
I don't
land,
know
so I
about
thought
you,
little of it.
But a Skaal's life sounds dull.
South and west. If your road takes you that way, perhaps you could search for any sign of Baldur. The Skaal would be grateful.
This I've never seen something so majestic like the Red Mountain.
All you had to do was keep away. You will die on this island, Interloper.
Outsider. I remember you. You're the one who freed the skull from the dark spell. Thank the All-Maker that you have come. These accursed elves have taken me from my home. No, my wounds are not serious. I don't think the elves were trying to harm me. Perhaps they intended to frighten me. At worst, I have a few bruises to show for my ordeal. I do not know this word, Thalmor. But if you mean the elves, they were trying to learn the secrets of forging Stalrim. Their leader, an elf named Ankarian, has a map. He says that it shows the location of a hidden source of Stalrim. They have a ship. They took me there and showed me the map. You will find it on the northern coast of the island. Please, do not let Ankarian make his weapons. Kill him or let him live. But take the map from him. It belongs with the skull. I will return to the village. When you have the map, please bring it to me there. And thank you. May the All-Maker bless your days. It is good to see you again, my friend. Did you find the elves at their ship? I know you faced great danger to bring this map to me. There are no words to tell how glad my heart is. Thank you, Brave One. I name you Friend of the Skull, and I will trust you with the knowledge of forging Stalgrim. If you bring Stalgrim here to my forge, you can use my tools to make what you will from it. Until our next meeting, Skull Friend. May your hunts always bring you game, and your crops grow tall and bountiful.
I heard from Dior how you went in search of Baldur. That was very brave, and in fact, that's just the kind of courage I'm looking for. Quite right, quite right. This, however, is paying work. Allow me to explain. As a scholar of history, I've always found Solstheim to be most intriguing. I've made many forays into the ancient ruins that cover the island. I've come to know those ruins so well, I could draw you a map from memory. That's why I noticed the new passage the moment I laid eyes on it. An old tomb, I think. It must have been opened by an earthquake that accompanied one of the Red Mountain's eruptions. I'd love to have a closer look. Those old ruins can be dangerous, and I'm no adventurer. I'll pay you to watch my back down there.
Doing fine.
I'll be heading back there soon. If you're interested, meet me at the ruins and we'll see what we can find. Now I'm off to pack for the expedition.
An invader has entered the fort. Prepare yourselves for an ambush! Fort Frostmoth will never fall. Long live the Empire!
like where this is going.
What news do you bring from Fort Frostmoth? I had my suspicions that he was undead. How else could he have survived for over 200 years? It's a shame. There are quite a few tales of General Carius' exploits, including the founding of Raven Rock. Councillor Morvayn told me to give this to you if you made it back in one piece. And you got rid of General Carius. Better than a soldier's pay, so you should be thankful. I'm sorry to bother you, but Second Councillor Rano asked me to come find you. He said it's quite urgent. All he wanted me to do is track you down and send you to him. Look, this is important. Even more important than wiping out the ash spawn. Please, go speak to the Second Councillor as soon as possible.
Thank you for coming. After everything you've already done for Raven Rock, I hate to ask for more, but I can't risk Councillor Morvayn being killed. The Ulan family of House Lalu, a rival great house, has placed a death mark on the Councillor's head. It's a private matter. Let's just say they seek revenge for the execution of one of their own, ordered by Councillor Morvayn himself. The problem is I don't have any solid proof that anyone from House Lalu is hidden among us. Only my suspicions. It may be justified, but it certainly isn't appreciated. Councillor Morvayn simply feels that I'm being paranoid. I'm afraid that one day I'll awaken and discover him dead. And I don't want it to come to that. I do. I've received some information from my sources that there could be elements of Ulan's house, House Lalu, already in Raven Rock. Raven Rock is a small settlement, so it's hard to accomplish anything in secret. If any of them is from House Lalu, I wouldn't be able to make a move without them knowing. I had a feeling you'd be willing to listen to me. I need you to start out by being my eyes and ears. Search Raven Rock and see if you can root out these traitors. The best place to start would be Geldis Sadri, over at the Retching Netch Corner Club. If he provides you any leads, check them out before bringing them to my attention. Can't afford to make any mistakes. Don't worry. You can trust Geldis. He's been with us for a long time.
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club. home of the finest Sioux jammer that will ever grace your lips. Well, well, Adril's got himself a spy, does he? Well, Zura knows he needs all the help he can get. He's been chasing the Ulans for years now. No, I just think he's going about this the wrong way. Actually, I do. If you want to catch those slippery slaughterfish, you need to let them come to you. There's an Ulan ancestral tomb near the temple. Someone's been leaving ash yam offerings on the altar inside. If you were to wait inside for whomever that is, I'm betting they'll have some of the answers you're looking for. What makes you think I haven't? Anytime Adril and the Redoran Guard made a move, the Ulans must have been one step ahead and didn't show up. You can thank me if it works. Until then, I'd head to the tomb and wait until your visitor shows up. Back in 95, Vila Ulan came to Raven Rock with a plan to take over our town. The Fetcher thought he could stir up the locals and use them against the Redoran Guard, and then murder Consular Morvain when we weren't looking. He arrived alone, but spread enough coin around to start changing people's minds. Half the bloody town joined his side. Can you believe that? He underestimated the Redoran Guard. They were organized and brought a swift end to the coup. Vila tried to run, but he was caught by Captain Veleth himself. Vila Ulan was executed a short time later, and his remains placed in the Ulan ancestral tomb. When a Dunmer is laid to rest, the body is burned and returned to the ashen soil. Since the ash yam is born of the very same soil, it represents rebirth and renewal, the fact that life ends and begins anew. How do you think? It's a blessing. I've got regular paying customers again, thirsty workers at the end of the day, and more coin than I can count. Watch yourself out there. Looks like an ash storm might be brewing.
Excuse me. I didn't realize there was anyone else here. I presume the same thing you're doing, leaving an offering for the departed. Forgive my surprise. It's just that I wouldn't expect that sort of behavior from someone who isn't Dunmer. Since there aren't any Ulans left on this island, I've taken it upon myself to leave the traditional offering in their stead. Oh, no bother. We all have a right to be here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to meditate a bit.
I hope Geldis proved useful. Have you made any progress? Telesu. Are you sure? So Geldis' plan worked, eh? Every time we tried it, no one would ever show up. If Telesu's involved in any sort of plot to harm Councillor Morvain, I'm going to need hard evidence to prove it. I'm not kicking down anyone's door until I have solid evidence in hand. If you're wrong about Telesu, things would quickly go downhill around here, and the real culprits might slip away. I can't afford for that to happen. If you have evidence and it places your life in peril, I would expect you to do whatever you must to keep yourself alive. Here, this key should open the front door of the manor in case they've locked it. Good luck. Be careful. If the Severans have betrayed us, then they'll be well armed.
Hello?
Careful, Miri.
Who's there?
Someone's here with us.
It's
House Lowry will have its revenge.
Did you find any evidence at Severin Manor yet? Then we finally have them. All that remains now is chasing them down and bringing them to justice. Good. I'm going to send 2 of the best Redoran Guard we have to take them down. I want you to assist them any way you can. See that you do. We can't afford to let these traitors slip away. Ashfallow Citadel's been abandoned for a long time. Be ready for anything. Over here!
like where this is going. Time to finish this! There's ash everywhere on Solstheim. I'll have to wash my armor thoroughly when I get back to Skyrim.
Well, what happened? Were you able to track down Vendel? Out with it! Then, it's finally over. What of the Redoran Guard I sent to assist you? Damn it. I was hoping to protect our people by sending them, not end up with casualties. To think that Vendel would stoop so low as to hire those fetchers. I'm glad you killed him. Wonderful. Simply wonderful. Councillor Morvain will be quite pleased when he hears about this. Follow me, and I'll take you to the Councillor so you can speak to him yourself.
I've yet to meet a Dunmer who can beat a Nord in a drinking game.
Adriel, I haven't seen a smile on your face like that in a long time.
This visitor has single-handedly dealt with a threat that could have ended your life. Vendel, Telesue, and Miri Severin weren't who they appeared to be. I'm afraid they were here to avenge Villa Ulen's death.
Vendel? But he's done so much for Raven Rock. How could this be possible?
They did it to gain our confidence, Councillor. They had us all fooled. I should have been more vigilant. I'm sorry.
Don't say that. It's not your fault, old friend. And you, step forward. What you've done for me, for all of Raven Rock, goes far beyond what I would have expected from a traveler to our town. For this, you have my deepest gratitude. Now, I'm certain Adriel was prepared to reward you appropriately for everything you've done. However, since a bit of coin hardly seems like enough, I've decided to provide something more substantial. Since the Severin family, or whoever they were, turned out to be criminals, their property is now forfeit. As Councillor, I hereby award you Severin Manor, and everything contained within. You've earned your citizenship here, and I hope you'll consider staying with us as a member of our community.
surely take their death seriously.
Remarkable, isn't it?
Huh?
The tomb has been hidden for, well, who knows how long. Many centuries, I would think. There are some sealed I've had a look around, and the only interesting thing I've found
That's
is
impressive.
this inscription here, and a switch below it. Now, I'm not sure if you can read the dragon language, but this seems to be a riddle of some sort. A sacrifice will bring you closer to that which you seek. I wonder what it means. Mind your step. There seem to be some corpses strewn about on the floor here.
Fus
I wonder if this fire pit has anything to do with it. You go ahead and see what you can figure out. I'll look around and see if I can find anything of use.
Fus
Well done. Looks like we can head in either direction. You seem to know what you're doing. Why don't you lead the way?
I'm not sure if it's wise to disturb the dead.
There's another riddle in there, along with a puzzle. Continue along the path. Only 5 more to go. Now let's just hope something good happens. The last one. And splendid. The gates have opened. What I hired you for. Let's have a closer look at these rooms. More of the Dragon Town. The rooms have faded a bit.
I hope Sovngarde was as great as they made it out to be.
This writing refers to a guardian who inspired both men and dragons. I wonder if the guardian was himself a man or a dragon. It looks like a...
How can I serve you? Lead on.
pillars. Other than that plaque, there doesn't seem to be anything else worthy of knowing. Let's see what the inscription says. Ah, that's the thing. There you go. Now let's see what mysteries await us in the next room. Look, here's another wall with dragon language inscriptions on it. Let's find out what's written here. The writing describes a guardian who defeated someone named Miraak. In fact, if I'm reading this correctly, it says that Miraak was a traitor. Most interesting.
You've just entered a new dimension.
Let's get moving.